Audio Jungle.
Welcome to Spydur Technologies. My name is Gary, and today I'd like to give you a brief rundown on the implementation process and what you can expect when installing a voice over IP solution such as the Spydur PBX. In years past, this was typically a hard cutover, where, as an example, you would go home on a Friday and a team of installers would work all throughout the weekend, and if everything worked out right, you would come in on Monday to find all new telephones on your desk ready to go. Thankfully, though, this is no longer the case. These days, installations are typically performed through a staged process. This is possible because IP-based telephone systems use the same shared network that also supports your computers, printers, security cameras, and other IP-based systems. Therefore, we are not constrained to rip and replace your building's dedicated hard lines that are used by old analog and digital telephone systems. Instead, we can now have a protracted implementation where perhaps your network switches are upgraded at your convenience to supply power over Ethernet, or PoE, for centralized power distribution, and battery backup, which protects and keeps your telephones running when the power goes out. If your company is larger, we can then create VLANs for you in those same network switches to support the virtual networking. If your company is smaller, on the other hand, we can just leave everything as a flat network, no VLANs required. Switching gears, if your current router is capable of providing quality of service, also known as QoS, bandwidth management or traffic shaping, as well as virtual private networking or VPN for remote support, then we can provide the direction you need to program the router you already have, again, at your own convenience. Be sure to watch our video on router programming for SIP trunks for a good overview. If, however, your router is not capable of QoS and VPN, then we can also take the time to upgrade the router as well. The next piece of the puzzle is getting your Spydur PBX up and running and communicating with your chosen carrier. Most installations these days utilize SIP trunks, but the Spydur also supports traditional analog, digital, and cellular lines as well. We don't have to route any traffic through the Spydur just yet, and there is no rush. Just let it sit there. The Spydur is designed to test the quality of your connections 24/7, 365, regardless if it is processing calls or not. Please watch our video on smoke ping network latency to see how the Spydur reveals the quality of your internet connection and how we use this valuable information to mitigate any possible issues and ensure absolute call quality before passing any calls through your brand new Spydur PBX. At this time, we can also set up a telephone or two as guinea pigs for testing. We can ensure they get on the appropriate network and that your PoE switches are functioning properly. We can also use these telephones for test calls in and out of the building with temporary DIDs, or unpublished telephone numbers. This confirms the router has been set up appropriately and the connections with your carrier are up and running well. This also provides a good opportunity to check the Spydur's call processing to ensure your automated attendant, live answering, and ACD call queuing is set up exactly as you desire. Up to this point, we have worked solely on your company's infrastructure. We've addressed the network switches, the router, your carrier, the Spydur itself, and we've even tested with a couple of telephones. We would now typically address the cabling in your building. If your building's wiring is sufficient, then there's nothing to do. If, however, you need some cable drops to new locations for telephones, overhead IP paging speakers, or wireless access points, then now is the time. This also includes terminating any lines to patch panels in the equipment room, cleaning up any spaghetti in the existing wiring, and making connections with your PoE network switches. Now, with all of the puzzle pieces in place and tested fully, the only thing which remains is to finally have your new telephones placed at each of their respective locations. Depending on the size of your company, this could indeed be a team of installers working through a long weekend, or it could be done department by department over a period of time, with extension-to-extension dialing between the old telephone system and the new Spydur PBX, which also gives you time to train users on your schedule. The implementation process can now be as fast or as drawn out as you prefer. This eases a lot of pressure from having to do everything in a single shot. It can reduce costs and eases procurement, such as during supply shortages, as an example, where you're purchasing a multitude of telephones and upgrading a bunch of network switches or wireless access points. It can give you added time to work with an existing router that has the ability to do what you want, but just needs a little help from the manufacturer in setting it up for voice over IP if need be. The Spydur PBX isn't like old traditional systems that require a hard cutover that can sometimes be very stressful. You can test absolutely everything ahead of time, which removes all questions and guarantees the Spydur will work exactly how you want. The benefits of a staged installation that a Spydur provides are numerous. This is what we do all day, every day, and we would love to help you too. We are happy to do everything for you, or we can work with your own in-house personnel and provide the direction you need to get up and running. So please, contact us today and let us help you with your next project. Thank you. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon for notifications of new videos. Thank you from all of us at Spydur Technologies.